If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. I had this idea that I was going to heat the camper while I'm driving with an electric heater. That way I didn't have to use propane heat, because I was really scared that I was going to burn the camper down driving down the road with my propane heater on. So I had an electric heater, and the way I was going to use it was with my inverter. I'm going to explain the inverter in just a minute. So what I did was, I have a 250 watt electric heater that I plugged in the inverter, and the truck, using its alternator, powers the heater. Really ran into a problem. Now I'm going to explain the electric system here in just a minute. A trip that normally takes me about a quarter of a tank, a little less than a quarter of a tank, to go see Carolyn, used more than a half of a tank of gasoline. It really used a lot of gas. And so I looked it up today, and it is true. The more the electric power that you have being produced by your vehicle, the more gas you're going to use. So if you have a lot of, the refrigerator uses gas when it, but I've never really noticed a significant decrease in gas mileage until I had the electric heater. Now, one of the reasons I don't make a lot of how-to videos or anything, because I have a lot of critics out there who want to tell me that I'm doing it wrong. Well, let's get this out of the way. I'm doing it wrong. You can spend a lot of money to develop a great system, and you're going to have a perfect system. Solar panels and, lithium batteries and all this. I don't. I have a very cheap system, and it has served me very well, and I'm very proud of it. And so I'm going to explain to you how my system works. I have a Walmart battery, house batteries, an RV marine battery that costs $80. I have one of them. That battery, when I'm not using the generator or anything, can power my refrigerator and my computers and Carolyn's iPad for 18 hours a day. 6 hours a day I have to charge the battery. Now, let me explain how I do this. While I'm out there boondocking, I get up in the morning, I go out, I start the generator, okay? The generator is now producing AC power. Just like you have power in your house, it's the same kind of power that you're producing. Well, then I plug my battery charger, which is just a standard Walmart battery charger, costs $40, and I run it on the auto selection. It has different settings. I run it on the auto, and 2 to 3 hours later, that battery charger charges my battery. The battery, this is key, is also hooked up to my truck battery. Now, I know this is where everybody's going to get really freaked out. My truck battery and my house battery both provide the electric. I know that you can put a connector in there where you won't use any of your truck battery, but I want to use my truck battery. It gives me more electricity to use. My house battery is 122 amp hours plus whatever amp hours my truck battery is. I recognize that my truck battery is going to wear out faster than if I weren't using it. But you also have to remember, this is my house. So if I have to replace a battery, say every year, $100, that's like $8 a month. I mean, it's an insignificant amount of money when you're talking about electric. My battery is going to last longer than a year. I've already proved it. I've done it before. It lasts a couple years. I've replaced it. The battery's in good shape. So now I have the house battery and the truck battery hooked together that powers the inverter. The inverter is a very simplistic device, and for some reason people just can't wrap their head around it. This inverter is 120 watts. I use it in the car when I'm driving around. You plug it into your cigarette lighter in your car. Now, my house inverter is 750 watts, much bigger than this one, but it works on the same exact concept. And now your battery is producing electricity that can power your appliances. So for 18 hours a day, all my appliances, the refrigerator, the computers, and everything is being ran off this inverter. And then 6 hours a day, I take everything and I unplug everything from the inverter, and then I plug it into the generator while the battery charger is plugged into the generator, and it charges the battery. If anybody's ever charged a battery in their car, it's the same concept. You take your battery charger, you put your red connection on the positive, your black connection on the negative, you plug it into the wall of your house, and it charges the battery. Same exact concept. Generator is now the wall in your house. That's all it is. Well, when I'm driving down the road, I have my battery connected from the truck to the battery in the house. When you're driving, the alternator on your vehicle is your battery charger. What it does is it charges the battery based on need. Car, if you turn on your headlights on your car and you watch your voltmeter on your car, you'll see the volts go up because your alternator kicked on and is going to maintain the needs of the headlights. When you turn on your headlights, you don't see a huge change. What you'll see is probably a 12.9 volts, and then when you turn on your headlights, you'll see 13.4 volts. Well, the other day, I was driving down the road with the heater on. Now, how the heater works is it's in the inverter. So basically, the truck is providing all the electric through the alternator for not only the headlights on the truck, but the refrigerator and the heater, because I have both batteries hooked up to the truck. Well, I turned on the heater and the volts went up to about 15.3 volts on the truck. Really put a strain on the engine. I was running, you could see the RPMs on the truck kicking on more often as I go up a hill that normally, you know, I could stay in low gear. Well, it would kick up, and the alternator was putting more work on the engine to power the 250 watt, which is a very small heater. It's not a big heater. It raises the temperature, I would say 10, maybe 15 degrees in here. So for 10 or 15 degrees, I used twice as much gas going the same distance. This heater is not going to work for me taking long road trips. What I'm going to have to do, I think, in order to keep things warm back here so my things don't freeze up, is, you know, every couple hours, turn it on, let it warm back up in here, and then shut it off after, you know, an hour or so. It's just using too much gasoline to make this a viable solution. Thanks for watching. Like if you like the video, and happy travels.